Okay. In relation to our seat on the Human Rights Council, I did have just broadly, in fact, given the time I won't do broadly, I want to ask about Cambodia. And I'd like to ask for an assessment, if one of my colleagues hasn't done this already, of the human rights situation in Cambodia. How Australia plans to utilise our position on the Human Rights Council to positively influence human rights in Cambodia. It's not that I always want Mr. Green at the table. Did you bring the right folder?
Yes, thank you, Senator, for your concern. I have
well,
the right folder. I don't have my name.
My suggestion would be you bring both up. Bring both up each time, then you're not caught short. Human rights in Cambodia.
Human rights in Cambodia. Yes. Senator Philip Green, First Assistant Secretary, Southeast Asia, Mainland and Regional Division. The government has a range of concerns about human rights developments in recent times in Cambodia, in particularly the narrowing of the democratic space, apparently ahead of Cambodia's national election, scheduled for July of next year. We're particularly concerned about restrictions on freedom for opposition parties, civil society and media organisations to play their part in Cambodians' democracy. The arrest of the main opposition leader, Kem Sokha, on 3 September and other recent actions on 6 October aimed at dissolving the main opposition party in particular represent a significant deterioration of the political situation. Freedom of expression and association, a vibrant media and an active opposition are essential elements of a successful democracy. We've urged the Cambodian authorities to take all necessary measures to maintain an open democratic space in which all voices can be heard and democratic participation is not restricted.
You mentioned the opposition leader, Kem Sokha, who I think was arrested in September.
That's right.
Correct? And in part on, well, the reports were, I'm not in a position to verify, that in part the basis of that arrest was that the opposition leader had made a speech in Melbourne in 2013.
That's as we understand it, Senator, a speech where it is alleged he made comments inferring or relating to the possibility of a change of government in Cambodia along the lines that happened in Yugoslavia in the 1990s.
Has the government expressed any view about the arrest and imprisonment? Has he been imprisoned?
He's in detention, yes.
He's been detained, yes. Arrest and detention of the Cambodian opposition leader?
Yes, Senator, we certainly have.
I'd like to know at which level.
The ambassador has consistently made representations to the Cambodian government on the issue. We've raised our concerns in meetings with a range of Cambodian government representatives. Our acting ambassador made early high-level representations to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on 4 September. The ambassador raised her concerns with the Cambodian Foreign Minister, Prak Sokhonn, alongside counterparts from Canada, the EU, France, Japan, UK, US and the EU on 12 September. The Embassy has issued statements on this matter, outlining Australia's concerns on 4 September and 11 October. And our ambassador again met with Foreign Minister Prak Sokhonn on 11 October to reiterate our strong concerns. The Secretary, Frances Adamson, raised our concerns during her meeting with the Cambodian Secretary of State for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, David Ley, on 18 September. Australia has also raised our concerns in the Human Rights Council. On 26 September, Australia made a statement during the interactive dialogue with the Special Rapporteur on the situation of rights in Cambodia, expressing concerns at the shrinking of the democratic space and in particular the arrest of Kem Sokha. On 29 September, the Australian Government statement at the conclusion of the session, we urged Cambodia to allow all Cambodians to fully realise their rights to freedom expression, assembly and association.
Very strong statements have been made by inter alia Senator Ted Cruz, US Senator, suggesting, having written to the Cambodian ambassador, obviously in the US, suggesting the potential of individually based sanctions. The Swedish Human Rights Ambassador has suggested that there might be a consideration of rethinking engagement with Cambodia. There's been other statements made by the EU. You'd agree with the assessment that a number of significant nations at war and the EU have made strong representations about the situation in Cambodia.
I agree.
And including making suggestions about the nature of the engagement.
And Australia has expressed its concern in company with many other countries you identify.
I saw that we have now established senior official talks as of, was it last week?
I believe it was earlier this week, Senator.
Earlier this week. Australian government.
I'm sorry, it was last week. You're
Australian
right,
government and the Royal Government of Cambodia signed a memorandum of understanding to establish senior official talks. It was reported in the media as including our ambassador toasting upgrades in a ceremony, including champagne with the Cambodian Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I just wondered if you can explain to us the juxtaposition between those images and the concerns you've outlined.
It's an unfortunate juxtaposition, Senator. Australia's ambassador to Cambodia, Angela Corcoran, was invited to the signing ceremony by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. The Ministry didn't provide full details about the arrangements of the ceremony in advance. The Ministry issued a press release announcing the signing of the signing ceremony shortly before the ceremony on the 18th of October. The Embassy wasn't consulted or advised prior to this being issued. After the press release had been issued and just prior to the ceremony, Cambodian officials advised the Embassy that the media had been invited and there would be a toast. The Embassy asked Cambodian officials not to proceed with the toast. The Ministry advised it was an important protocol in light of the Minister's attendance if the signing was to proceed. The Ambassador was put in an invidious situation. Although she'd not expected a toast as part of the event and it had not been raised by Cambodian officials until just prior to the signing, she didn't want to make an unnecessary issue of the situation, so proceeded with the Cambodian signing ceremony arrangements.
Okay. Well, thank you for that explanation.
Would you mind, Senator, if I say one more thing about that? Actually, two more things. First of all, that it has been reported in the media that this is an upgrade of our bilateral relations with Cambodia. That's not the way I would have characterised it. It's a new dimension, an extra dimension of our relations with Cambodia, and it's designed so that Australia will be able to engage with Cambodia on a range of significant issues across the bilateral relationship, but importantly on democracy, human rights and regional security issues.
Okay. Happy to flick to someone else, Chair. I know that you're...
Thank you. I was going to go to Senator McKim, but he will have to put his Cambodian questions on notice. Senator Abel.